So, hi, I'm Roberto, and this is Riley Grace. She's my saving grace. We saved each other. You know, it's just you and me, so if you can you sit down with me for a moment? And can we talk about something? I love you. And I'm done going with Grace when I've been wronged. A lot of you have been asking, what's next? What's going on? Where am I? Or how are things? And, you know, stuff like that. And honestly, this is just part one of me piecing my life back together. Well, I would say step one, but it's not step one because I've been trying to take as many steps as I can. So this would be like step 1 of 100 at least, or like 1 of 50 of me trying my best, of doing whatever I can to not be here in this moment of the situation of making this video, talking about what's going on and where I've been, what's going on. I said what's going on twice. It's just been a lot, you know? Using my purpose and life back together, and my business, my life, my mental, my physical health and well-being, and all of those things, trying to piece them and put them all back together is probably one of the most different and difficult and very weird things that I've ever had to go through. Not only because it's just, painting something on the wall, or putting a puzzle piece together, or just, you know, which dog likes which treats, or, you know, things like that. This is definitely more different because it involves trauma, retaliation, gaslighting, manipulation, lying, fraud, harassment, stalking, cops, firemen, loops, landlords, a lot of it. A lot. Right now, thinking about it, just all the words are just all over my head right now, trying to just think about all the words and think about everything that's playing in my head from each moment and each day and every day that happened from 2025. And actually, I tried filming this a few hours ago, but the audio cut out. I was using a microphone, I was trying my best, and I was stuttering and trying to breathe as much as I could, but so I took that as a sign. After that happened, I just laid down with Riley Grace, and I took it as a sign to keep it more raw, very raw and real, and just myself. No fancy microphones, just me, the lights, Riley Grace next to me, laying down, keeping me calm through all this, and just trying my best. And ask you a question. Are you okay? I want you to ask yourself that too, like, think about it. Just let me know how you're doing. And one of the most important questions that I want to ask you is a question that I'm going to probably keep throughout this whole series, or something in my life that I keep asking myself at least, is, are you happy and are you okay? Those are two questions that I really ask myself every day, especially throughout last year, is something that I ask myself a lot of times. I ask myself, are you okay? Are you happy? It's going to be okay. You're happy. You got this. Take a breath with me, because the story I'm about to tell, the timing is finally right. And by that, I mean, not really is it right, like the time is right for me to tell the story. Like, oh, it's perfect. Because that would have happened days ago, years ago, months ago, weeks ago. And I tried. But what I mean by the timing is right is that trauma is right outside at my door right now. Anxiety, fear, the gaslighting, all of it is outside right now. There's a winter storm right now in Houston, Texas, and they're predicting snow, and just like it happened last year around the Texas freeze, is exactly what's happening this year. And I just keep thinking about, since I've been looking at the weather and talking about the weather on the apps and, you know, on the news and stuff, and they're talking about how it's going to be scary, and the snow and all of these things. And the snow would be great, and it would be like, oh, a memory that I had when I was younger, when I lived in Chicago, but that no longer exists anymore, because those memories are now filled with traumatic memories. They're overlapped by them. And the thing about trauma is, you don't forget it. You don't forget about your trauma. Everything else that you've ever remembered, everything else that you've ever felt, any detail, anything that made you smile, any friendships, any memories, anything that felt that boost of serotonin no longer sits at the top or at the peak. Getting chills. Those things no longer sit at the top of my forehead or at the memory where I instantly remember if I pick up a spoon or look at a movie or see a word or associate it with someone or a memory, and instantly I can remember all of those things. I can remember all of those things. It's this thing that it's called that somebody, it's this, I forgot what it's called, but it's this thing where somebody remembers every detail about everything, and it's a special kind of person or some kind of thing about it that if you remember every detail. Now it's like beeline to trauma. It's like I could be having a fine day, or just I'm doing well, and me and Riley Grace on a walk. This is the only Grace that I'll be with. This is the only Grace that I'll go with. So as I sit right here, trying to piece back together all of the memories and everything, the details and stuff, it's a little bit harder than I would think, or I think that you would think that maybe that I would just be able to just say it and let it out and just get to the point, which I would really love as much as you. But it's not really that simple. As I sit here with Riley Grace, I'm trying to remember all of the details that happened in January with my landlord and the living situation that was very uninhabitable, and honestly took so much out of my life, took a huge toll on my well-being. It's hard. It's like take like little breaths to breathe, because I talk about, and like all right here is getting hot, and then my breath is like you know, whenever you burp or like you have something like, it's like I have it right here on my iPad too, like talking points and stuff that I want to talk about and say and remember to say it, and not just, you know, just bit by bit go over with it. I have gone through. Building up the inhabitable situation that I lived in with Riley Grace and my business, Smiles for Miles, is something that I'll never forget, and it'll always be with me forever, because that's trauma. And it's my story now. It's our story. It's our history. I'm piecing it back together as much as I can, and thankful to my dad that he's been letting Riley Grace and I stay here at his house. And sorry, it's raining outside, and it's making me like very fidgety, because it's exactly the same sound that I heard whenever it was the second cold front, the first one and the second one never started snowing and stuff, and all this was happening. It was like I'm trying to just breathe, feet are crossed and Riley Grace is right here, but like my legs are like very restless. Like I'm just trying to like calm them down, and I'm trying to like calm down, and it's hard to talk because like I can talk, but like my voice is like getting lower, and like feels like it feels like a lot, like I'm getting the chills and things, but I'm like okay, what we're gonna do real quick is just breathe. I feel a little lightheaded. I'm piecing my life back together right now. That's because I'm done staying silent. I tried piecing my life back together then, and I tried holding it together as much as I can then as well. Back in January 2025, February 2025, March, April, May.
Talk about how the living situation was inhabitable and the toll it took on your well-being. Mention how isolation and the stress of that environment made everything feel heavier while you were already struggling with your health.
Living in the uninhabitable home was scary and weird, because I noticed the signs and I noticed things happening, but I thought, oh, it's just little things and landlord things, or like she's just like neglecting it, but I could still fix it and stuff. That was my mentality all the time. But I've always been like that type of person. Like I can fix it, it's fine. Or if it's not getting done, I'm just gonna do it myself, you know. And I've lived there for 3 years. 2 years and 2.5 years I lived there until I was wrongfully evicted. And yeah, 2 years I lived there. In her own words, I was a great tenant, no problems ever. Never bothered her. I always paid my rent on time, all the time, every time. Whenever I asked her for some repairs, like if the floor was warping, whenever the hurricane came, the the refrigerator went out because of the hurricane. The door was broken. The windows needed sealing. Things that needed repairs, she would prolong them, and I just didn't notice that all of the time because I was like, you know what, some of the things I needed to be done immediately, and I was like, hey, when is this gonna get done? When is this gonna? It would take 1 day, 2, 4, 5. The refrigerator took 7 days, and I would send her videos. I would send her text messages. I was like, hey, when is the fridge gonna come? Hi, when is somebody coming to fix the fridge? Because the dogs were freaking out. I was freaking out. Not even leave the fridge plugged in because it would be so loud. It sounded like a lawnmower in the house. And I texted her, and then the washer and dryer weren't even properly plugged in. Like the holes spew out everywhere. I would ask her if she could fix the door, or send somebody to fix the door, or like things like that. And it would always take a very prolonged. It would never be an estimate of a time. It'd always be like, oh, I don't know, I can't get anybody right now, or things like that. But I left it alone, and I was like, maybe she's busy, or this person's busy, and I would be very naive to it. But in January 2025 is whenever it really happened, where I was like, no, this cannot be. It's messing with me mentally, physically, emotionally, and with my business and my money and my life, my savings, everything gone, all of it. Not just, oh, my money's gone. Like, I don't even know who I am anymore. I know I'm not the person that I was before, and that hurts even more because I don't even have those memories of the people that I loved and cared about. The people who loved and cared about me, I don't have them in my life anymore. And all of it was like due to isolation and being held in captivity in a leasing agreement, and my landlord in retaliation towards me when I just asked for proper pest control. Guess what happened? There was mice trying to get into the house, and when I told her that, she was still prolonging it day after day, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And finally she came, and she didn't though, because she didn't show up. She showed up with just lies, deceit, and gaslighting and gossip. She acted as an accomplice to a pest control person that she hired when she fired the original pest control company, Hawks Pest Control. Moments before they were supposed to enter the house, she fired them with a fake pest control guy with a regular black truck, no logo, no nothing, no uniform, no nothing, no badge, no paperwork, nothing. Which definitely led me to believe, okay, this guy's fake. Immediately, it drew a huge red flag for me. I'm like, this doesn't seem right. The Latina, knowing another Latino-owned company, okay, yeah, I'll take it. Just fix the problem that's inside, please. But no, that's not where it stops, and that's not even where it starts. But it is a little bit where it starts. And it's so scary that she even let somebody that I didn't even know, and that wasn't a proper pest control person, and who wasn't a licensed pest control person, because if he was, he wouldn't have put poison all over the house that I was renting from her for my dog to be poisoned. Any proper pest control person would know that that is not safe, and that is not what you do when you know there's an animal around you, or an animal in the proximity that you're putting all this, putting dots of poison on glue traps that I bought, and using my supplies to take care of myself. He didn't bring no supplies. He brought nothing. He used my ladder, using my steel wool and everything. Hearing this rain right now reminds me whenever I was using the steel wool and the peppermint spray, the peppermint oil on cotton balls and lavender and anything to seal the gaps from when the mice were trying to come inside. Like, can you imagine putting cotton balls and things in these cracks and crevices of this house? Not even mine. I was renting it, and I still put up effort to save this house and save my life, my business, me, my dog, and I, and staying up all night. And I sent her a video of that as well. The next day, I was like, "Hey, can you please help? Like, what is going on here? This is." She had advertised it on her social medias as well, that it was newly remodeled. She even told me she bought new water heaters. She knew all these things. That was a lie. The stove was not new. The refrigerator not new. Neither was the second one not new. As she told me herself, that refrigerator was a blessing from God. The breaker box, horrible. I have a picture of that, and it would look to me like it had gotten worse over the year, and I just never realized it because I was so scared to even touch it. She had sent a appliance guy to come and fix the stove. That was like my first year. Whenever the stove wasn't working, you couldn't even use all three of the tops. You couldn't use the whole oven together. It would blow out the whole house and stuff. It was insane. We'll get more into that as well. Because believe me, all of this matters. All of this that I'm saying and remembering, it matters. It all matters. Every bit of this story, every bit that I remember from all of this matters. From the electricity, the stove, every bit that connects all of this puzzle together. And how I was retaliated against and how I was treated so unfairly, and I wasn't even able to show up in court because they both, her and her lawyer, showed up to court without me after I had sent the rebuttal to him, and they showed up without me. And of course, the party was in their favor. The favor was in their party, or however it said. Whenever they first served me, they had a constable come. They didn't seal it in a proper envelope. It wasn't sealed. Not all the documents were with it. There was only like 4 or 5 papers with it, and exhibits A and B and C, which was the lease, wasn't sent with me. It wasn't sent with the constable, and I talked to her and I was crying and I was like, what's going on? And that was, I believe, in February or March. I know it's a little bit of a lot. I'm trying my best to talk about what has gone on. From being stalked, harassed, almost killed with a guy that was sent to my house with a ski mask and a GoPro attached to his head, and the bike tried to be brushed off at a house so I wouldn't have seen him on a bike. Apparently, he already knew that there was a camera there, so I know that he was sent from Karina. My landlord knew the day whenever her and that guy were there. They knew that there was a camera. Her and her fake pest control guy, they had seen me setting up the cameras and stuff. How would you come to somebody's house? And the purpose of the ski mask is to hide your identity. So he knew that there was a camera there. And the second time he knew there was a camera there was when he looked up and noticed the camera as well. Like, yep, that is the camera there. And then he took pictures of my house with his camera phone through the living room window of Riley Grace and whatever else. And then he went away. But imagine if I had answered the door. I couldn't answer the door because I was incapacitated. That's the same day that I came home from the doctors, from seeing my psychiatrist, from being under the medication that I was on. I was on 2 medications. I'm not on them anymore at the moment. We'll get to that as well. One person maybe go 24 hours all-nighter or so, not sleeping right. Maybe you've done that, maybe you haven't. But have you ever went 4, maybe even 5 days without sleep? And then sometimes not remembering when you slept? And then so much going on. Like, you're seeing stuff, you're feeling stuff, you're hearing stuff, your emotions, you're not eating, a lot is happening. And you're trying to ask for help and you're trying your best. But with all this going on with no sleep, you can't even eat because the refrigerator's moldy and there's mice going inside of it. Yeah. They were entering through the exact back hole that I showed her. And when she had her friends bring that disgusting moldy refrigerator to the house, that she considered a blessing, and she had said that it was brand new. It was not brand new. That fridge has mold, and it still had mold, and the mold kept coming back and back. Being in isolation and stressed, oh my god. And trying to live and work and have a business was probably the most scariest thing ever. But I tried my best. I still wanted to be with the animals, and I tried my very freaking best. I tried every single day to make it happen. I got the house so clean in January and everything, and did my best to make everything right. When the dogs came back in February, and it was just me and Riley Grace trying to do our best. You know, I hired a pest control guy and another one. Throughout all of this, I remember I was like, I don't want to lose Riley Grace, and then like, I don't want to lose myself either. And I was like, because I knew there was at some point in January where there was like, I knew as myself as well. I would sit down and talk to myself, or like, you know, I would talk to Riley Grace, and I would walk the dogs, and I would walk Riley. And I would say, like, this is more bigger than just mice. Like, I'm not afraid of mice. I'm not afraid of animals. That's not scary to me. I've had mice as a kid, those little pet mice. And I've had hamsters, gerbils, reptiles, Madagascan cockroaches, tarantulas, birds, cows, sheep, chickens. I take care of animals for a living, so that didn't scare me. A lot of, like, so much that was happening. Day after day after day, hour after hour. The emails, 1,000, hundreds of emails. I would get 50 to 20 to 10 emails. I have... from not just, I don't even have 100 emails from NCDG property and management team. I have more than at least 250 emails from NCDG property and management team, and text messages, phone calls, voicemails, and I have video footage. Then they try to like pin Riley against me and say that she was a loose pit bull their own words. James Reynosa, his own words. Loose pit bull inside the house. That's why we could not enter the building. And we were supposed to check the home on this date and da 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 da. But they did not do that. That was, I believe, in March. That same time, the home was uninhabitable. We tried to seek out to go stay at a hotel or something for at least one night because it was really cold. Again, and then we went out to, I like called so many hotels, and I finally found one. I didn't, without realizing where it was, it was all the way in Katy, and then I got a Lyft for Riley Grace and I paid the Uber, the Lyft pet, and then I got there, and the whole ride there, this Lyft driver was being very conniving and weird and shady, and oh boy, was he, because he tried to kill us on the freeway. I have a few videos of that and text messages and emails through Lyft that they did not want to refund me the money. They were going back and forth that they weren't going to refund me the money for that, but I will be showing all of that, every little bit of it, because there's not just a little bit, there's a lot of it. But regardless, I stayed with my dog Riley Grace, and they tried to separate us. They tried to get my dog Riley Grace removed from my house, calling her a loose pit bull on several occasions. I believe it's at least 2 occasions that they did that. And James Reynosa and Karina both came into my home. And they met her, and they petted her, and she was calm and quiet. She even gave them their paw. James Reynosa also took pictures of my dog's skin. James Reynosa was also looking into the house, all over the house, and seeing everything that was going on, and said it was very good, and seeing nothing wrong with it. James Reynosa was also very harassing towards me, calling me the day they showed up to my house. That day, when he came outside of the time window and didn't give the proper 24-hour legal notice that he would be coming, and constantly texting me at insane time frames from like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 7, 8, double, triple texting me. James Reynosa is definitely part of the trauma that is in my life. So is Karina Rojas and her team Rojas Realty, because she also had a person stalk me out at my house that is in a Jeep. This woman came in a black Jeep, and I've seen that black Jeep very, very frequently around my house, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And I walk through the neighborhood all the time. I'm always in the neighborhood with the dogs, so I would be able to see a black Jeep if I seen it, but I didn't see it. But I would always see it pass by the house, just like I seen the black truck, because that pest control guy told me himself that he'd always see me. He was like, hey, I always pass by here, and he always did pass by the house. Especially after I had noticed him whenever it came to be the fake pest control guy. He had even waved at me. I'd be sitting outside, and he'd be passing by the house. My job was to keep my dog safe, and my business and the other animals as well safe. But when they try to rip me and my dog apart and have her taken away from me and say crazy things like, oh, she's a loose pit bull, after I paid her. Remember, Karina, I paid you. I paid you for my dog to be on that lease. Remember? You were so happy about my business. You were so, I'm going to tell my clients and friends. You even followed me on Instagram, but then you unfollowed me on Instagram whenever you sent that pretend fake letter to NCD's property management team, and they had to send it to me telling me that you sent it to me, but you'd never sent that to me. Because it was just white, and your normal letter, your normal cover letters that you send people, like the first one that I got from you about you not being able to renew the lease with a picture of you, and then you sent me a text message whenever you did that about not being able to renew the lease the first year I was living there. This year, you didn't do none of that. You pretended that you didn't know about my dog business because you unfollowed it, and you also messaged me in there on Instagram, and it also went to my business page on Facebook for Smiles for Miles. When you pretended that my illegal dog business was the reason for the rodent infestation or the mold or the insects that you had claimed there wasn't, because I even had a housekeeper there. She would come every 2 weeks, or she would be there like once a month or so and help me clean out, and my house was never insanely dirty. It was always cleaning the house, especially during this time. Riley Grace is a huge part of my life. These animals are as well, but like Riley Grace is my dog. And her name is Grace because she's my saving grace. And every day that I went through this, I would always ask myself, are you happy? Are you okay? Is Riley okay? Are you happy? I had to throw away my bed, my food, my couch, and everything, but I had to make sure she had an air mattress, she had bed, she had pillows and everything. And my neighbors and people would and amazingly sweet clients that knew what was going on or try to see what was going on, try to help me in any way they can, would send me things or get us things and stuff like that, and would do their best to mentally prepare me or try to help me in any way they can, and try to help me find numbers to talk to lawyers, the housing authorities, and everything. Oh god, this rain is crazy. I hate it so much. I'm just gonna have to put I can't, these are a little bitter. They're a little bit better. I'm anxiety, like my chest feels so tight too. Sorry. I'm not sorry. I mean, I didn't do this. I don't know where I left off at. So this is what's been going on. Me just trying to stay alive. Thankfully, we're staying at my dad's house. Trying to just breathe. Trying to just think. And just tell my story and trying to find a lawyer. Trying to find a legal team. I've done a lot of contacting them, emails, phone calls, housing authorities. I've been trying. If you can help me in any way, that'd be amazing. But I'm still trying. I'm not giving up. But this is also so much to go through for just one person, and me and my dog, and then I get sick, and then I can't eat, and then my body shuts down, and then I'm trying to like put it together, and it's a lot. It's a lot when you go through something like this. Is it a landlord and tenant issue? No, it's beyond that. It's been beyond that. Like what they've done here, they should be criminalized. They should be in jail. The license should be lost. Like this should not happen to me. So much retaliation that is illegal here in Texas, and everything they did just to hide the fact that there was no proper pest control, and to hide the fact that there was already a pest control problem. And we're gonna be getting into all of that. How I found out everything, and how I tried my best, and how I'm still trying my best. And I'm trying to get Riley, Grace, and I our own home and life back together, my business back together. I miss these animals so much. I miss my life. Thank you so much for being here, for any bit of support, and all your love and kindness, and just everything else. And this is like, hopefully we get into our new home soon. I'm doing everything and anything that I can. The thing that I'm definitely not doing is giving up. Definitely not giving up. So thank you so much, and remember, you are not alone.